Game on.
Hello everyone, this is Willie from Arcade USA, and you're watching Glen's Retro Show. Game on.
Hi everybody, thank you for joining me on today's edition of Glen's Retro Show. Well, yesterday was Valentine's Day, but it was also known as National Owners Day by AtGames about their Legends Ultimate. It was an all-day celebration. There was a lot of things going on, a lot of announcements, and a lot of special deals, one of which was 30% off of my Tron Joystick, 15% by me, another 15% by AtGames. So with all that being said, in my opinion, one of the best games built into the Legends Ultimate is the Bally Midway Tron arcade game. The big downside to playing that game, though, in the Legends Ultimate was how the controllers were set up. Initially, you had a ball top on here with no trigger on it. And in the arcade game, you had a stick, like shown here, with a trigger on it. And you also use a spinner as well. So, with all that being said, even with all the controls that are on here, the layout was not optimal. Even if you purchase my stick and put it in here, you can play Tron with the trigger and the stick and the spinner being here. That's not how it was in the arcade machine. In the arcade machine, the joystick was located here on your right hand side with the spinner on the left hand side. So although you could play it this way, and I have been, it's not the same experience, and it does take getting used to, especially when you have the memory effect of how you played it in the arcade. To people who never played it before, it might not be a problem, but to people like me, it was a bit of an issue. So I was toying with the idea of doing a tutorial on how to rewire the joysticks to make you play one over here, leaving other controls over here, but that wasn't necessary after yesterday. One of the other announcements yesterday on the National Owners Day was a new firmware. It was 4.6.0, and one of the features in that is able to swap your joysticks, swap your buttons, vice versa, do all different kinds of changes in here, which is what we're going to talk about today, and show you how the gameplay played originally versus how to play it the way it was in the arcade game. So get your Tron joysticks installed, follow this little tutorial, and let's play some Tron. Okay, so once you've got your Tron joystick installed, and I'm not going to show you in this video how to do that. There are other videos already that show you how to put this in your Legends Ultimate. So I'm going to put that aside for right now. But this is probably your basic layout. Most people have just the the one stick. Of course, I wanted two. Nothing wrong with that, right? So initially, you would have put your Tron joystick on this side because the only way to control Tron at that point would have been on the left-hand side. So we're going to go through a quick video showing the gameplay using how it would have been before the 4.6.0 firmware upgrade. So let's go into the game right now. Let me turn the volume up here. Okay, we'll start the game. So a couple things. First of all, you're going to be on this side of the display. This is more centered, but we'll try it out as it is. I have to use my left hand, and I am right-handed. But it is still playable. Pick another level here. So again, it's not horrible playing it this way, but if you play it in the arcade, it definitely doesn't feel right. Now here's the one that's going to be most difficult. So I have to switch hands, which is the light cycles. And again, I'm standing all the way on this side of the screen. Not ideal for me, as you can see. So that's playing it on this side of the screen. Now I'm going to show you how to swap the joystick here and use the buttons here, but use a spinner here. Now the reason you want to use the buttons here as well is my Tron joystick basically taps into button B for Tron. So if I'm using this joystick, I want to use the button B over here. So I'm going to escape out of here, quit the game. And we're going to go over to the settings area. I'm going to lower the volume because I do have some Pac-Man Fever playing here in the background. Do the Donkey Kong. So I'm going to go up to the settings area here. And there's a new one called Control Mirroring. So I'll go down to Control Mirroring. And you can see right now by default, your player 1 is here with these controls. Player 2 is with these controls. I can simply go down to swap. Now player 1 is all here and player 2 is here, but the spinner is still player 1 and player 2. Now they do have hybrid versions. We're using the player 1 joystick and the buttons for player 2 if you want to play for some reason like this, and vice versa. And then there's hybrid 2. We're using this and or I guess that. But for what we want to do, we're going to simply pick swap. I'm going to use the joystick and buttons for here, for the spinner on this side. So I'm actually going to move this camera so you can see how this is going to work out. Okay, so we're going to pick the swap version right here. So I'm going to swap again just to make sure. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go back now to Games and Tron. So I can use either one of these buttons actually, I think. Yep. So now that we're getting into the game, okay, we're now inside here, and this is now my joystick versus that one, and I'm going to be using this button here through my trigger. Again, you can use your B button if you want to, but the trigger's set up, but the spinner is going to be here, and that's how the arcade game was set up. I've even set that up also on my home-built Tron machine I built, last year. So let's go in, put a credit in, and try out Tron with the controls the way they should be. It seems like such a small difference, but you can see now I'm in front of the monitor versus standing all the way at the side. So this, first of all, I like already, and it just feels more natural to play the game. So I think actually most games I play are going to be from this position with them set to the swap mode. Piece of cake. Oops. Let's try that again. Alright, time for the light cycles. So that's how Tron can be played. Now again, you can use the B button here, but it really doesn't make any sense. So that's really it. So you now have the option to pretty much swap your controls around per game. Well, not really per game. It's actually set this way now for all the games. But maybe in a future version they can do something along those lines. But just having the ability to put the controls where you need them to be for the game is a huge thing. And again, for me personally, I'd rather play all my games from this position because I am centered with the screen no matter what I'm doing versus here where I'm only on the side. That's my personal preference, I guess. And guys, it's just that simple. Once you go in there and make those changes with the swapping of the controls, you could play Tron just like it was in the arcade game, or play all your games on this side. And me personally, I'd rather play the games on this side because my standing point, I'm in front of the screen, where if I'm over here, I'm standing all the way on this side, and it's not the same experience. So I prefer playing it from this side regardless. So if you did like this video, please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, and also my end credits. I have lots of other YouTubers and websites of people who put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to show you guys or create great things for you all. So please have a look and maybe give them a like, a subscribe, or purchase something from them. They would greatly appreciate it. And once again, I thank you for joining me today on Glen's Retro Show. And remember, no matter how you do it, game on.
Glen at the Tiny Arcade fan page. Remember, don't admire people too much. They'll disappoint you.
Sit, Blue Blue, sit. Good dog.